That moment when you walk into a room and suddenly forget why you're there. The struggle to find simple words in a conversation. The constant mental fog that makes everything feel just a little slower than it used to be. Your memory isn't as sharp, your focus isn't as strong, and deep down, you start wondering, is this just aging? Most people are told that it is, that slowing down is normal, that you just need brain exercises, puzzles, or apps to keep your mind active. And yes, those things can help. But what if they're not addressing the real problem? Today, we're going to look at something that completely changes how we think about brain health. Something incredibly simple, yet almost always overlooked. Two people, same age, similar lifestyles, but completely different levels of mental clarity. One struggles daily with brain fog, forgetfulness, and low focus. The other feels sharp, alert, and mentally quick. So, what's the difference? It comes down to something most people never think about: two minerals, magnesium and calcium. In this episode, we're breaking down new research that links these two everyday nutrients to cognitive decline, and, more importantly, what that actually means for your brain. Because what you're about to understand isn't about trends or hacks. It's about how your brain physically works. Every thought you have, every memory you recall, every decision you make is actually an electrical signal traveling through your brain. That signal moves from one nerve cell to another, and to cross that tiny gap between cells, something very specific has to happen. Calcium steps in. Calcium triggers the release of neurotransmitters. It's like pressing send on a message in your brain. Without it, the signal simply doesn't continue. In a very real sense, calcium is the ignition switch of your brain. But here's where it gets interesting. Your brain doesn't just need signals to fire. It needs control. Because if every neuron fired all the time, your brain would be in chaos. That's where magnesium comes in. Magnesium acts like a regulator, a gatekeeper. It sits at the receiving end of nerve signals and blocks unnecessary activity. Think of it like a noise filter that keeps out static so only important signals get through. But when magnesium is low, that filter disappears. The brain becomes flooded with noise. Neurons start firing too easily, too often, and this leads to overstimulation. And this is where people begin to notice problems, not as sharp pain or something dramatic, but as something subtle and frustrating. Brain fog, poor focus, mental fatigue, memory issues, a slow decline that feels hard to explain. What's even more surprising is that research has shown people with low magnesium performed worse cognitively, even if their calcium levels were completely normal. In fact, low magnesium caused a bigger drop in brain performance than low calcium alone. Why? Because they had the spark, but no control. Imagine a car with fuel, but no brakes. That's what your brain becomes. Now, before jumping to conclusions, there's something important to understand. This research was done on hospitalized adults over 60, people already dealing with illness, stress, or recovery. And that matters, because illness itself can lower mineral levels and affect brain function. So the real question is low magnesium causing the problem, or is it just a sign of poor health? The honest answer is, it could be both. There's another important layer here. Too much magnesium can also be harmful. It can slow down your nervous system too much, leading to fatigue and low energy. So this isn't about taking more. It's about balance. Your brain works best when everything is in equilibrium. And here's the bigger issue. A lot of people today are not getting enough magnesium in the first place. Not because they're not eating, but because of what they're eating. Modern diets are heavily processed. White flour, packaged foods, refined snacks. These foods provide calories, but very few minerals. And even when you try to eat healthy, there's another problem. The soil our food is grown in today contains fewer nutrients than it did decades ago. So even vegetables don't always deliver what they used to. So what does your body actually need? Most adults should aim for around 310 to 420 milligrams of magnesium per day and about 1,000 to 1,300 milligrams of calcium. Magnesium-rich foods include nuts, seeds, beans, and leafy greens. Calcium can be found in dairy, kale, broccoli, and similar vegetables. But here's something important. Whole foods matter more than supplements because your body absorbs nutrients better when they come as part of a natural food system. Supplements, when taken incorrectly, can sometimes create imbalances instead of fixing them. So what does all of this really mean? It means your brain health isn't just about aging. It's about what your brain is receiving every single day. It's about whether your neurons have both the fuel and the control system they need to function properly. And for many people, that system is slowly breaking down without them even realizing it. You don't need extreme biohacks. You don't need complicated routines. Sometimes the biggest improvements come from correcting the simplest things, the nutrients your body depends on every second of every day. So the real question is, are you giving your brain what it actually needs, or just assuming it's fine? If this changed how you think about your health, make sure to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments. Have you experienced brain fog like this? Let's talk about it. Thanks for listening. We'll see you in the next episode.